At the beginning of the story, a man is brought in by force. People around him begin chanting rituals. The man is dressed in white, his hands and feet bound, as a ritual is performed. A figure in black clothing, face concealed, recites incantations. Moments later, an iron mask is forced onto the man's face, and he is struck violently with a heavy iron hammer. A horrifying scream echoes through the space, and the man dies on the spot. After this, a couple named Carmen and Marcus is introduced. Tension exists between them, as Carmen has been deeply absorbed in her work lately, to the point that it affects their personal life. Marcus wants to spend quality time together, while Carmen remains focused on her career. As the discussion escalates, bitterness grows between them. Upset, Marcus leaves, while Carmen heads to her workplace to discuss a case with her boss. The case involves a village in Poland, where people who visit a specific location mysteriously disappear, and their luggage is later found somewhere else. This has been happening for several years. The most recent missing person is named Eric, the same man who is killed in the opening ritual. Carmen researches the report and wants to turn it into a headline for the news. However, her boss refuses, arguing that there is no evidence or anything compelling about the case. He dismisses it as ordinary luggage theft or loss at airports and assigns Carmen to work on other cases before sending her away. Carmen refuses to give up. She visits Eric's house with her junior colleague, Sarah. Eric's mother, Laura, welcomes them. Laura explains that she has gone to the police many times, but nothing has been done. The police keep delaying the case with excuses, stating that Eric's luggage was found far from the disappearance site, and the investigation will not progress further. Laura believes the case will go nowhere. With Laura's permission, Carmen takes Eric's travel journal, which contains notes about the places he visited, including details about a particular village. Carmen begins reading it and asks Laura if she can keep the journal for further study. Laura raises no objection. Meanwhile, Sarah looks at the photographs hanging in the house, showing Eric with his cousin and his father. Eric's father died 5 years earlier. Eric loved traveling, but after his disappearance, Laura has been left completely alone. Carmen and Sarah bid her farewell and leave. While sitting in the car, Carmen tells Sarah where their next destination is. That night, as Carmen studies the case, strong winds blow through an open window. A whisper seems to call her name. When Carmen moves closer and closes the window, she realizes the voice is coming from inside the room. She sees a boy standing at her door with his head lowered, sobbing. Suddenly, the door shuts on its own, and the boy appears behind Carmen, screaming. He begs to be left alone, and it becomes clear that the boy is Eric. His eyes appear unnaturally forced upward. Terrified, Carmen jolts awake and realizes it was only a dream. The next day, Carmen visits Marcus at his studio. Marcus works as a photographer. Carmen proposes that he accompany her to the village. If he joins, she can continue working on the report, and Marcus can take photographs for his work. She also believes the trip might help repair their strained relationship. Carmen wants to fix what has been broken between them. However, Marcus feels the trip could be dangerous and advises her not to take the risk. Carmen ignores his warning and tells him to think it over before leaving. Back at the office, Carmen's boss orders her and Sarah to handle insignificant cases, dismisses their concerns, and throws the village case file into the trash. At that moment, Carmen receives a call from Marcus, who informs her that he has agreed to go with them. Soon after, Carmen, Sarah, and Marcus set out by car. Marcus drives while Carmen sits beside him, reading Eric's journal. The journal describes the village as strange and covered in fog, with people who seem disconnected from one another. However, at one point, Carmen notices that many pages in the journal are blank, with very little information written. Upon arriving at the village, Carmen, Sarah, and Marcus realize the journal's description is accurate. The villagers behave oddly. Their beliefs, clothing, and way of life resemble those of an ancient era. Sarah notices a man hanging a pig upside down and skinning it. She reacts with discomfort, but Marcus explains that this is how farmers live and how food reaches their tables. The villagers do not speak English. The trio approaches a young girl and shows her Eric's photo, asking about him. Before the girl can respond, her father angrily shouts at them in another language. The girl urges them to leave and runs away. Her father, who was skinning the pig, wipes the blood from his knife, visibly enraged. As they walk further, they see villagers emerging from a religious sanctuary. The people are deeply religious and show great respect toward their spiritual leaders. However, the symbols do not belong to Christianity but to an unfamiliar faith. The trio has no understanding of this religion. Nearby, they notice smoke rising from within the forest. Driven by curiosity, they head in that direction. Before they can get far, a man named Henrik arrives with a group and orders them to leave. He angrily shoves Carmen and demands they go away, which further angers Marcus. Sensing that the situation could escalate, Marcus chooses not to argue and leaves the area. After driving some distance, Carmen insists they must find out what is hidden there. She believes the villagers are concealing something and that Eric's case needs deeper investigation. Returning empty-handed would destroy her career and future. Marcus warns that pushing further could provoke the villagers and put them in danger. After a heated argument, Carmen eventually convinces Marcus to return. They turn the car around and head back toward the forest. As they move deeper into the forest, Marcus questions why Carmen brings Sarah along, pointing out that she is still young and should not have been brought here. After walking some distance, they notice a specific area of the forest completely covered in thick fog. It appears as if the fog is concealing whatever lies beyond it. Inside the fog, not even the leaves of the trees move, as though time itself has stopped. Marcus takes a few photographs and wants to leave. This leads to another argument between him and Carmen. During the tension, Sarah wanders ahead and gradually disappears into the fog. Carmen starts calling out to her. After waiting with no response, Marcus decides to search for Sarah, but Carmen insists that since she brought them here, the responsibility of finding Sarah is hers. She enters the fog alone, calling Sarah's name. Inside, nothing is visible except endless white mist. Carmen feels trapped in a maze of fog, moving forward slowly in fear. Meanwhile, Sarah suddenly emerges from the fog, frightened. When she asks about Carmen, Marcus explains that Carmen has gone inside to look for her. Within the fog, Carmen notices a statue. It has the face of an animal and the body of a human. The statue looks disturbing and unnatural. Carmen takes several photographs of it, but then notices that the statue's head keeps turning toward her. A dark substance begins seeping from its eyes, and the heart held in its hand starts pulsating. Terrified, Carmen runs away. As she flees, whispers and ritualistic chants echo around her. Somehow, she manages to escape the fog and reaches the outside. Seeing Sarah there brings her some relief. Carmen asks Sarah whether she saw any statue. When Sarah confirms that she did, Marcus decides that staying there any longer is unsafe. He starts leading Sarah and Carmen back toward the car. On the way, they encounter the young girl again. She indicates that she knows where the friend they are searching for is and urges them to follow her. Marcus refuses, but Carmen follows the girl, causing Sarah and Marcus to follow as well. They arrive at an old house containing several coffins. The three of them open the coffins and find bodies inside, dressed in white gowns with iron masks on their faces. One of the bodies has a tattoo on its hand, identical to the one seen in Eric's photograph. They realize that this body is Eric's and understand that the missing tourists have likely met a horrific fate here. Religious symbols are present all around. As they take photographs of the bodies, the young girl slips away, locking them inside. Realizing what has happened, Marcus desperately tries to open the door. From behind, they keep hearing someone calling out. Eventually, Marcus manages to break out, but by then they are completely lost in the forest and cannot determine where they left the car. Marcus then hears villagers approaching them aggressively. The three flee in panic. After running for a while, Sarah becomes too exhausted to continue. They find an abandoned house and hide there. By this point, all three regret coming here and recognize the decision as a serious mistake. Carmen apologizes to Marcus, accepting that her stubbornness led them into danger. The villagers soon track them down. Sarah and Marcus attempt to escape, but while trying to help Sarah, Carmen is captured. When Marcus tries to rescue Carmen, he is also caught. Despite attempting to defend themselves, they are overpowered. As Sarah tries to flee, Henrik shoots an arrow into her leg, injuring her. Marcus manages to escape and runs into the forest, with Henrik chasing him. Meanwhile, the villagers render Sarah unconscious. After some time, water is splashed on them to revive them. With their hands bound, they are brought before the religious leaders. Among them is the man in black robes who was seen chanting during Eric's killing. His name is Arctius. He observes Sarah, Carmen, and Marcus, then issues instructions to the villagers. Following his orders, Marcus is restrained at a separate location, while Sarah and Carmen are taken back to the old house. The villagers strip Sarah and Carmen and then dress them in white gowns. Following Arctius's command, Carmen is restrained, while Sarah is laid on a stone slab with her hands and feet bound. Elsewhere, two villagers force Marcus to dig a grave at gunpoint. The villagers then begin the ritual on Sarah, injuring her as part of the ceremony. As she screams, she starts seeing the villagers' true forms, as if they are demons wearing human masks. An iron mask fitted with nails is placed over her face, and Arctius strikes it with a hammer. Sarah dies during the ritual. Carmen screams in desperation, but the villagers reveal their true forms to terrify her further. Meanwhile, as Marcus continues digging, he waits for an opportunity. When the two villagers guarding him become distracted, he attacks them with his shovel and escapes. Sarah's body is placed into a coffin, and the ritual is completed. Now it is Carmen's turn. At that moment, Marcus arrives. He frees Carmen and locks the villagers inside the house. Carmen and Marcus escape together. After running some distance, Carmen begins to feel unwell and vomits, just as Sarah did earlier. She also starts hearing whispers, but she manages to steady herself. Soon, they spot a house with lights on and a taxi parked outside. Needing a vehicle, they secretly enter the house to find the car keys. Inside lives a couple with their young son. Seeing the gun in Marcus's hand, the woman panics and starts screaming, drawing her husband into the room. Marcus desperately tries to get them to understand that he only needs the car keys. However, upon seeing Carmen, the woman becomes even more hysterical, and Marcus cannot understand anything they are saying. Marcus ties the couple to chairs. At that moment, Carmen begins experiencing disturbing visions. She sees everything in the room shaking, and she perceives everyone inside transforming into demons and hunting her. Overwhelmed, Carmen locks herself inside another room. Marcus, unaware of what is happening, continues trying to get the car keys, still unable to understand the couple. The young boy speaks in English and explains that his parents are saying they must leave immediately. He also reveals that the car keys are in the kitchen. Marcus goes there with the boy, takes the keys, and then restrains the child as well. The boy pleads for him to stop and urges them to escape, warning that the woman is a demon. Inside the room, an unseen presence continues haunting Carmen. Whispering sounds echo as objects shake violently. A terrifying reflection of Carmen emerges from the mirror and begins overtaking her. Her behavior changes completely. A horrifying scream fills the entire house. Hearing Carmen's voice, Marcus rushes to that room, but Carmen is no longer there. From nearby rooms, the screams of the couple and their child are heard one by one, as if a beast is brutally attacking and killing them. For a brief time, Marcus is trapped as the door locks itself. When it finally opens, Marcus steps outside with his gun raised and sees the mutilated bodies of the couple and their child lying on the floor, torn apart as if by a savage creature. Suddenly, Carmen attacks Marcus and pins him down, attempting to devour him. She has fully transformed into a demon. At that moment, the religious leaders arrive. Seeing the marks on their hands, Carmen recoils in fear and retreats. Marcus lies injured in a corner. The priests attempt to control the demon using holy water and a holy cross. However, Carmen kills them one by one. Eventually, Henrik manages to restrain the possessed Carmen. Marcus then realizes that outsiders who break the rules and encounter the demon are killed by the villagers before the transformation fully completes. This was never a sacrifice ritual. From the beginning, the villagers were warning everyone for the greater good. There is no other solution. Like Sarah, Carmen must now die, as it is the only way to stop the curse. Understanding this, Marcus helps Henrik and the others place an iron mask on Carmen's face and kill her. The next morning, Marcus prepares to return home. Before leaving, he asks about the truth behind the village and its horrors. Henrik explains that the fog-covered part of the forest is cursed because of the statue. Anyone who sees the statue is slowly consumed by the demon, eventually transforming completely. The curse causes intense psychological torment from within. That is why outsiders who ignore the warnings are forced to be killed by the villagers. Marcus then wonders why the victims are masked and struck in the eyes. Henrik explains that the curse begins through the eyes, so it must be ended there. Since Marcus never saw the statue, he is allowed to return home safely. This conveys a single message from the film: excessive curiosity is not always good, and not everything unknown needs to be explored. This is where the shrine comes to an end.